And how's everyone doing today? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I don't think this mic is working, but there we go. There we go. Hello. Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Latino-owned Business Summit, a training event on the margins of the USHCC National Conference. We want to thank the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for having us and really being here today to, one, empower Latino-owned businesses and chamber leaders with digital skills training to help unlock opportunities for growth. A little bit about me, I'm Lucy Pinto, and I'm the manager of the Grow with Google Digital Coaches Program, which is a program that's been around since 2017. And the program aims to provide ongoing training, coaching, and opportunities for small businesses to network with one another. And since 2017, we have trained over 100,000 Latino and Black small business owners across the United States through local digital coaches. We have two of our coaches here who you'll hear from today, our Arizona digital coach, Mari Rabago, and our California digital coach, Roberto Martinez. Now, it is important for us to really drive this work forward and help empower Latino-owned businesses because Latino-owned businesses are driving new business growth and contributing to the economy of this country. And because of that, it is important for us to partner with organizations like the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, who are doing amazing work on the ground to making sure that we're not only starting new businesses, but that businesses are growing and thriving, especially through the help of technology and digital tools. And fun fact, today is actually my 10-year Google anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. And I feel honored to be here and celebrating with you all doing what I love to do, which is connecting with small business owners, both here in person and those on the live stream. Shout out to everyone who's joining us on the live stream and watching this event. And be able to grow together, learn together, and empower one another. And none of this would be possible without the support and the partnership of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And so in that vein, I would like to invite up to the stage no one other than Leroy Cavazos to do our official welcome remarks for today and share a little bit about the partnership. And Leroy, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Lucy, and congratulations. What a milestone. What a professional milestone. Let's give Lucy another round of applause. And it goes to show the power of Latinas ascending in Google. I am so proud to welcome all of our Latino business owners to the 2022 United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce National Conference here in Phoenix, Arizona, and to this Grow with Google digital training. We're so proud. We'd like to welcome all of those who are watching us from home, from your offices, from coast to coast, and from global market to global market. The power of coming together through Grow with Google will grow the eminent economic vitality of the already strong 5 million Latino-owned businesses living in America and the 63.5 million Latinos who power the American economy. Fun fact and quick story. I signed an offer letter for the USHCC in December of 2019, and I hadn't even started working yet. And Ramiro Cavazos, our president and CEO, said, hey, someone said that Google wants to join the chamber. Google wasn't even a member of the USHCC. He's like, it's your first fundraising call. I picked up the phone, and 3 years later, finally, after a massive global pandemic, after working with people like Mari and Roberto Martinez and Larry Gonzalez and Chanel and Clarissa Ramon, we are here to say that Google is one of the largest investors in the Latino community and one of the largest investors in wanting to see the eminent evolution of our enterprises. So it took a while. The pandemic got in our way, but we're finally here. So that phone call really paid off to be able to bring this training to our conference, to be able to live stream it, to invite inclusion and have people be with us on their computers from wherever they're at today, taking the USHCC virtual into their homes so that they can join us and learn from the Grow with Google team. At this time, it is my honor and privilege. One of the first people that I met when I set foot here in Phoenix, Arizona in September of 2019. Again, my boss said, go figure this out. See if we can take this conference there next year. One of the first people I met on the ground here was Mari Ravago with Ravago Productions and your Arizona Grow with Google digital coach. And this just lovely, bubbly personality. A powerhouse in the media industry, a 29-year career advocating for getting the right information into Latino households with a decorated career at Univision. And I have sympathy in my heart for Univision because I'm from San Antonio where Univision was found. And Mari just welcomed me to this community with open arms. And a lot of other people did that. And I committed to the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce that we would be here in Phoenix, and it's been nothing but a great ride. So at this time, it is my honor and privilege to kick off this Grow with Google training with your Arizona Grow with Google digital coach, one of the most powerful Latinas in this state when it comes to media and digitization, Ms. Mari Ravago.
Gracias. Thank you so much, Leroy. Am I on? Yes. There we go. Technical issues, as I used to say in news. Thank you so much. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Un placer de estar con ustedes. Those joining us here personally and those on the live stream. My name is Mari Ravago. And how do I live up to that introduction? Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Learn about investors and loan options for your small business. I got tired of giving headlines to my community for 20 years in the media. It was an amazing ride, but I wanted to do something more. I wanted to educate my community. That's why I funded my company, Mari Ravago Productions. I've been in business. I'm a small business owner, entrepreneur like yourself. So, otro gallo me cantara if I wouldn't know all I know about Google nowadays. So, you're at the right place. And as I tell a lot of my followers and clients, if you invest in yourself, your business will grow. That's definitely what you guys are doing here. So it's an honor to be here with you. As Leroy said, I've been the Arizona Grow with Google digital coach for almost 2 years now. And I'm very passionate about educating my community about topics and products that enhance their daily life. That's why I created Mari Ravago Productions. And I get to do this also every month, 4 to 5 times a month with entrepreneurs across Arizona. I've been in the Valley for almost 32 years. I have 2 amazing sons. They're tall. They're not short like me. I was a little bit worried about the podium today. Hice muy bien. Ellos sí les dieron fertilizante, right? So I got 2 beautiful boys. I'm a single mom, Latina immigrant. You can hear it on my accent. And as I tell my clients, if you want more billullo, plata, dinero, billete, start rolling your R's because the Latino buying power is amazing in this country. It's large and it's out there waiting for you to go and introduce your product or your service. Learn about a culture, learn how to communicate with us, not only in the language, but learn our culture, and you're gonna have faithful clients at your doorstep. ¿Verdad que sí? Sí, eso pasa seguido. Bueno, that's a little bit about me. I'm big on social media. Please make sure you follow Digital Coaches Program. Take pictures and snaps and tell the world that you're joining us here today. And also you can find me on every single platform with the handle at Mari Ravago AC. That's a little bit about me and enough about me. At this point, don't forget the hashtags, Grow with Google. Vamos a crecer con Google, pero no para los lados. Para arriba nada más de aquí, ¿ok? Perfecto. In Hispanic Heritage Month. You see the accent there, so get used to it because that's the new America. We're the melting pot. Don't be afraid to speak the language. Don't be afraid to participate in these free trainings that we have every month across the country. Wherever you are joining us through the live stream, please make sure you sign up for some of the workshops. Did I say it was free? That's my favorite word. Me encanta regalar lo que no es mío, and I get to give you guys knowledge that would help grow your business. So that's very important. This presentation, I have to make sure I put the disclaimers out there. I'm not a tax preparer. I'm not a lawyer. And I'm not giving you advice. So make sure you consult with your lawyer, with your accountant for any type of financial advice. I'm just here to tell you how to get the money and where to go, how to do the presentation so you guys can get. So I've been in business for 9 years. yet I have got a loan for business. And I'm up at that time. I need a building. And my business is doing great, but guess what? I need capital. And this is also the process I am going through in my company, what I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to be speaking out of my own experience and what I'm doing in order to prepare to speak to investors, okay? So this is the agenda. We're going to understand what funding is. I know Latinos, we used to ask a la abuelita que sacara del colchón, right? Lo que tenía ahorrado, la comadre, the friends. But there's a lot of opportunities. And I think we come with a mentality from our home countries that deuda es malo, that it's bad to have debt, right? But asking for capital, looking for investors, asking for loans is a great thing. How do you leverage money from other people to grow your business? Is a new concept for a lot of us Latinos, because I know we come with that mentality. No se debe de deber, right? I'm that typical person that at the end of the month, I pay the credit card. They really don't like me, the companies, because they don't get interest on me. But it's the way we were raised or trained. So we're going to learn how to do things different, how to grow our business. We're going to develop a funding strategy. Tienes que tener estrategia. Very, very important. Also, we're going to search for investors. Who has our capital? Who has the money that we need to grow our companies, right? Our business. And we're going to create a presentation that there's no way that they will tell you no, that we cannot loan you the money, that we not invest in your company, because we're going to look very professional, we're going to know what we're talking about, and we're going to show them why it's important that they invest in our companies, in our vision, our dream. This is the country of the American dream, right? Most of us entrepreneurs, we open our business because we had a dream, we had an idea, we have a mission, we have a purpose. One of the slogans for my company is journalism with a purpose. Everything I do has to have a purpose, and I'm sure you guys can relate to that within your companies. And I love to give free stuff. Like I said, me encanta lo gratis. So we have a lot of resources for you today that are going to be very, very helpful. So understanding funding, that is the first thing that we are going to focus today. And like I said, we come from generations where the idea of us asking for loans, asking for money, having debt was something negative, right? We were afraid to have that. We were taught, for most of our families, no se debe de deber. You can't ask for money. You have to do your own thing, right? But here in this world that we're living nowadays, if we're doing business, we are competing in a global economy, not only in a local economy or a national economy. So it's very important for you to be able to learn the word that I know, I pronounce it a little bit funny. Somebody can help me? Leverage? Roberto, con Roberto. Say the word so you can help me with that. So es eso que dijo él. So I am going to be giving you some pointers on where to understanding the funding. So it's very important for you to calculate the cost. I don't know about you guys, but when I started in my business, I did everything, manual. I knew how much I had to pay for rent. I knew how much I had to pay for electricity. There were some basic costs, fixed costs that you have every month in your business. And then you have other ones that fluctuate, can increase. So it's very important for you to know the cost of starting the business, the cost to doing business monthly, annually, and also it's very important for you to have a projection at least of 5 years. Why? Because when you go and ask people to invest in your company or to loan you money, you have to show them that you're capable of returning the money or making money on their investment with your business. Hola, Laura, bienvenida. I like to see familiar faces here. Thank you so much. Secure loans. So they might like you, they might think you're cool, you're a good person, you're a fun person, but if you don't have your financials in order, if you cannot show them that you can repay their money, the chances for you to get a loan, especially when it comes to business, you're looking for thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars for your business, you have to really show. Papelito habla, dicen, right? That's another saying that is very popular. Attract investors. Just like when you're courtship, when you andas noviando, when you are like trying to, I like the guy, I like the girl, it's the same thing. You have to attract them. You have to be giving them reasons why to even look at your business, give their time of day for you, because there are people, with a lot of money. They're important, VIP people, right? So it's very important for you to know how to attract them and maybe get some tax savings. Once you have all in order, and I'm going to ask you also, have you guys used Google Sheets? Your hands, Google. Okay, I'm glad I'm in a Google environment. When I started my business, I didn't use none of the digital tools with Google. Can you believe that? I'm talking about 9 years ago, and here I am now training. That's what I said at the beginning. If I knew what I know now about Google and know the options that we have and all these trainings, I can pretty much tell you that my business would have propelled a lot faster. I would have more productivity, and I would have my things a lot in order. No era muy ordenada cuando empecé. So we're going forward, not backwards, Mari. Here we go. How to figure out your business costs. So how I used to do it when I started, tenía mi hojita, and I would make a list of the costs that I had, trying to stretch my dollars. You know, as it is when you're trying to start a business, most of us start with our own savings or with nothing, and we're trying to figure it out how we're going to do month to month, sometimes week to week. I remember when I would get paid for my productions or social media marketing that I did, the first thing, okay, I had to have enough to pay my team. And then, but I have all these bills. And I most of the first year or two, I ended up with no pay for me. Somebody told me, you have to pay yourself first. Have you guys heard that before? I had ¿cómo se dice? Ni español ni inglés el día de hoy. Tuve un mentor. So I had a mentor that taught me that in order for me to function and feel that my business was propelling moving forward, I had to pay myself first. So that was one of the biggest lessons. How much money do you need a month, a year, in 5 years to operate your business? That's another important question. Why and by when do you need it? You know, there's something very, very common here. Every month you get the same electricity bill, right? It varies a little bit on the price. The rent, the internet, the phone bill, whatever software you're using within your business, depending on the industry you are. So those are costs that you already know. And there's some that you can, get an average of it every month, so it's very important. Now, you're going to make separate calculations, like I said before, monthly. It's very important that you know how much monthly. But also, have in writing how much it costs you to do business a year and do projections for 5 years. Why is this helpful? Because when you go and ask for loans or you go and try to enamorar one of those investors to invest their capital in your business, you have to showcase. It's like when you used to go to your parents when you get the grades from school and you know you were going to get a reward. It's the same thing. You got to make sure you show el papelito habla. Remember that. Very important. Also, how will you find the way to repay the money? So you're not only going to show them what it costs you to do business, the type of product or service you're offering, but you have to show them how you're planning to generate enough income and enough capital within your business to repay. And what is your plan? Do you want to pay them in 12 months, 36 months? Just like when you go and get that new car, you drive off that lot with a new car, but within a month, you're going to be getting those bills, right? You have to pay the first payment. And you have already the terms of the repay that loan also. It's very important that you read the small print before signing any commitment, any loan agreement, any investor agreement, because one thing very important for me to highlight to you, when somebody invests in your business, that means that you're no longer 100% owner of your company. Somebody has invested capital. They have, done an injection of capital to your business, so that means that you are no longer 100%, and you have to define those terms. Is it 10% and it's 5%, depending on whatever the investment it is. Very important to you have not only those conversations, those years that you did the deals with a handshake are way over. And the first lessons that I had in my short career as entrepreneur is that I had to have everything in writing. When you had partners in your business, when you have, the contracts with the clients. If I knew somebody for many years and they wanted some of my service, I made the mistake at the beginning. Oh yeah, I'll do that. How much is it? This is the price. We never did a contract. We never did an invoice. It was somebody I knew, and guess what? Did I get paid? $40,000 lesson for me that I'm trying to avoid you for that. So think about that. And it was a very well-known company. So you cannot trust if it's not in writing. Papelito habla. You're going to hear that from me a lot today, okay? So some people pay business costs by self-funding. When I started my company, it started with $10,000. It's the last $10,000 I had in my pocket, and I bought what I could for equipment, and I had all these ideas, and I had all this knowledge, but I didn't have the business plan, I didn't have the capital, and I had passion. A lot of us probably started selling tomates or something in the corner. We know the story, El Rey del Tomate, right? He got famous internationally. Well, not every business is going to succeed that way. We have those amazing stories, but if there's a roadmap for you to succeed, why don't follow it instead of going through all those painful lessons that I went to, right? So it's very important that small business loans, you understand what they are, how to get them, where to get them, where to look for investors also, the microloans. Microloans, what is it, $5,000 to $10,000, right? It's safe to pay back, but if I'm looking for a building for my company, I know it's going to be in the millions. Who's going to trust me enough just because they have seen me on TV for 29 years or they like me, you think they're going to give me about 5, 10 million? I don't think so. I don't have the power yet. So I have to show them that I can pay that. I have to bring my financials. And a lot of people do como las cundinas, that you ask money from, you ask 10, 20 people to invest. That's like a crowdfunding, como cundina. I think that's a term that we most understand if you are from Latinoamérica. Si eres Latino, I know that's la mamá hacía cundina para pagar la quinceañera, right? So that was very popular in many ways. Next, the workshop covers funding with investors. So how do we find them? You're at the right place. 2 places that you can find investors where you can start looking. Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and USHCC. Connect to the local chambers. That's a perfect way. They know all the big corporations. They know the people with money. And nowadays, I don't know if you guys know, but Latino-owned business, especially, señores, disculpen, Latinas-owned business, according to datos, if not, Monica's here, you can ask her, we are leading the growth of new business, not only in the country, but particularly here in Arizona. So that's very important. Know your value. People want to invest in you. But if you don't show up with all your ducks in the road, if you don't have all the information, your financials, a nice professional presentation, guess what? They're not going to give you the time of day, and you're going to lose opportunity. So the more prepared you are, the more questions you ask, the more courses that you take. Did I mention we're free courses every month locally, at least 4 or 5. Across the country, we have 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 courses that you can plug in and learn. So that's very important. And I'm going to use Viviana. I have a niece that her name is Viviana. So Viviana, she has a company that creates bike basket. That's her business. And those bike baskets become somehow they can turn into the grocery. A lot of people, unfortunately not here in Arizona because we have a lot of distance, but depending where you live, Robert is laughing. I know there's a lot of places in California I have seen, and you see people going to the grocery store and they have those baskets in front of their bikes, right? So that's her business. And she's doing great, and all of a sudden she goes, I need to grow. I want to do more. I want to sell more product, and I'm going to need a bigger team. So she has big dreams. As I say, soy pueblerina, soñadora, con muchos sueños. Many of us came to this country thinking of growing and making our dreams a reality, right? A lot of us are going in the right path. Other ones need more support, so that's what we're doing here. So Viviana has big dreams also. También es soñadora, Viviana. And first thing she needs to do is to develop a funding strategy. That is the first step for her, to grow the business, to be able to produce more of her product, sell it, get more people in her line of the team, and the first question, which I hope you're taking notes, and I see a lot of you guys taking digital notes. You can take snaps too, that's important. And remember that this is live stream, so you will be able to review the video. So if you don't take all that information, don't be afraid. You will be having time to do that. How much money do you need? That's our first question. Like right now, it's myself. I need a building, but I have no earthly idea how much money I'm gonna need. I can, a ballpark number, but not exactly. That's where she is. How would she spend it? She has to show the investors or wherever she's gonna go and ask for their loan, how she's gonna utilize the money. She needs to have it ready to the T, to the point, with sense and everything. I'm gonna use $5,000 to get more materials to produce my product. I'm gonna use about $35,000 to add 2 more employees to my line. She needs to have her strong selling points. What makes your company different than any other company that does the same thing? How many marketing companies or agencies are out there? Hundreds. They all say they're multicultural. What's different about my company? There's only one Mari Rábago. There's only one person that was given news and had the trust of the community. So when you hire my service, you also hire that trustworthiness from the community. That could be one thing that sets me apart than any other company that does the same thing as my company does. Put it on your shoes, in yourself, your particular case. What makes you different? What's different about your company than your competitors? It's very important that you know that, because you're going to convince them. Los tienes que enamorar. You have to secure the loan. You have to secure that investor. You have to have really strong selling points. What do you have the most business in done? What is it that you're missing in your business? What is it? Capital? Is it mano de obra? People in your team. That's very important to those things. Now, when you're speaking to potential investors also, you have to have the plan and how you are going to utilize the money, like I said. But you also have to show them what are your costs monthly, yearly, and the projections for 5 years. Keep that in mind. Every single investor, or for most of the loans, they're going to ask you that. Monthly, yearly, and the projections for 5 years. You have to do a research, and for those companies that are trying to grow their business, and they have to talk about the expertise of their employees. Are they trustworthy? Do they plan to stay in that company long enough? Or nowadays, I think one of the biggest challenges for more businesses is trying to keep their employees. We are in an era where people are not married to a company. They want to try different things. They keep moving cities. So there's a lot of turnaround, right, when it comes to employees. So that's one of the biggest challenges. And they're going to see with a microscope the list of your employees, how long they've been with you, their assets, their type of training that they have, their information, and how likely are they to stay with your company and for how long. So it's very important. This is my favorite part. You have to know what it costs you to attract your new customer, which is marketing, right? You have to know how much money you're investing. A lot of the trainings that I do with my clients is just like you're paying the electricity, just like you're paying rent, like you're paying your salaries to or hourly fee to your employees, you have to designate an amount monthly to market your company. I think the pandemic did that really well for us, right? A lot of, especially Latino and Black-owned companies, did not have a presence online before the pandemic. The pandemic hit, and we had to start doing business in a different way. We had to take our business online. So even if you have a physical location, if you have a boutique and you have the physical location, you have to give the option to a lot of your clients, if you want to grow your business, to be able to order your products online, right? You have to give them options, because remember, innovation, how can you make it quick, easy to them is important. So that's another thing. And you have to have consistency in your marketing strategy. You have to have the funding. I cannot emphasize enough, and I'm not trying to get your business here on that aspect, although I can help. It's very important for you to say that the same amount or increase the amount. Have a projections on how much you will be spending in your marketing efforts, okay? So for those of you that are new to all the different digital tools that we have with Google, as I was when I started my company, sheets.google.com, it's one of those resources that will save your life in so many ways if you're an entrepreneur. This is where you can get all the listing of your expenses. You can have everything in one place, and you can look and see the projections, see how you're doing in business, what you need to change in business. So there's make sure you log into sheets.google.com, and you can have just like your accountant will be doing this, and for you, it's important that al ojo del amo engorda el caballo. It's a saying in my old town too, that if you are vigilant, if you're looking where your money is going, and Google Sheets can allow you to have that report of your costs, whatever's coming in, and all that. So describe the risk. So like I said before, just because they know me for that many years, they used to watch the news with me. You imagine if I just go and knock on somebody's door that I know is somebody that likes to invest their capital, and you think they're going to give me the money just because they have seen me for that many years, or they think I'm a nice person, or I might be trustworthy? No, you have to show the risk, because an investor always has the risk of putting money into a project, adventure, and maybe not getting a cent back. The beauty and the ideal thing is for them to make a lot of money out of your business. That's why you're trying to convince them. The execution risk. You have to show them your plan of action. What is the process of your business, from getting the goods to turning into the product that you're going to be selling, how you're going to be marketing that product, how likely are people to buy your product, all that. You have to get a list and tell them around how many clients you have. How many of those clients are recurring clients? What are you doing to attract new clients? And how easy it is for those clients to get your product. Like I said, it's very important to learn how to sell your products online. If you stick with us, Roberto Martinez, our California coach, will show you exactly how easy it is through our Google workshops to get your product online, to sell online. So keep that in mind. And also, you have to put it in writing. You can't just show up to the presentation with the investor or looking for that loan for your business with everything in your head. You have to be prepared. So how much revenue would you plan to generate by the end of 2024? How much is going to cost you to gain that clients? Like I said, your marketing strategy, how much investment you're going to be doing monthly and yearly, and also the engagement with the users for your product. So if I sell one of this basket, if I was Viviana, I want to make sure they're going to come back and buy me again or refer me with their friends, because I'm sure she likes to go everywhere on bikes. I'm sure she hangs out with people that do the same thing, that they have that kind of lifestyle, right? So word to mouth is a great marketing that doesn't cost you, but if you're not giving a good service to that client, guess what? That's not going to happen. So es junto con pegado. Everything is a, chain effect. Searching for investors to fund your business. Very important for you to start making a list. Who do you know that has money? Puede ser la abuelita, el tío. They could be investors. I have, in my family, that's the example. I have 3 brothers-in-law that they put their money together. They started a company. Now they're doing great. They didn't want to go and look for investments anywhere else. They saw where they can juntaban su dinerito aquí allá, and they launched a business. Now they're very successful. They're doing great. But to grow their business, they had to go and ask for loans. So even though they started that way, because you might be afraid to look for that type of investment in your company, when you want to grow, you want to evolucionar, you have to consider either a loan for your business or bring in investors. And again, keep in mind, when somebody invests in your business, you're not 100% owner of your business. Somebody else will have a say on the direction or the actions that are taken in your company. Many businesses rely on investors for funding, like I said, to start the operations. Others, they don't like the loans, so they don't want to go in that route, and they sell their properties or whatever they can to find it, right? Usually, when you are getting somebody into your company, you're going to give a percentage of your company. They're going to have equity in your company. So that's very important for you to keep in mind and to think about it. How much percentage of your company are you willing to give away? Is it 10%? Is it 25%? Is it 50%? I would highly recommend you stay at least 51%, right, for those business majors in the room. Now, what do investors look for your business in? So how profitable, practical, the vision that you have. When you're an entrepreneur, when I started Mari Rábago Production, it was a dream for me. I really wanted, and that was the reason why I created my company. I wanted to educate my community. I remember when I immigrated here with my family, we didn't know the system. We didn't know how to choose a health plan. We didn't know the system, the education system. There are a lot of things that we did not have resources and information. We were victim of frauds in many occasions. So I wanted to prevent that in my community. That was the dream. That was the vision I had for my company. Relay that to your own case. Why do you start your company? Why do you do what you do? I know Laura has group homes, and she helps elderly people and take care of them. I'm sure she has a story behind. Your story has power. Tu historia tiene poder. Make sure that when you're in front of those investors, you share your story. People would buy your product or service or invest in your company of why you do what you do, not so much the product or the service. You have to engage them. Remember that this is relationship business. Negocios en relaciones. Ayúdame, Roberto. The ESL is really kicking in today. So, in other words, they have to connect to your heartstring. They have to relate. They have to be something that is emotional for them to buy into, invest in your company, or to buy your product. Also, remember that I said, Papelito habla, you have to have a very detailed business plan. And the local chambers are a great place to go. If you don't have a business plan, they'll help you. They'll have experts, and they'll guide you to the process also. Financial projections for next 5 years. Why would somebody invest in my company $3, $4, $5 million for a business if I don't have a way to show them that in 5 years, I'm not only planning to be in business, but the growth plan that I have for my business, right? In many ways, so keep that in mind. How to search for investors? Like I said, the local chambers, economic development agencies are another place to go. Google it. My best friend is Google. You can Google for investors in your local area in many ways. And online is definitely a place to go. Create a presentation. Remember that I said that it wasn't only good enough for you to have it in your mind, to share your passion. You have to show. One picture speaks more than 1,000 words. So you have to show in pictures and, very nicely created in a way that you tell the story of your company, what you do, how you're doing financially, and how is your plan to grow your company. You have to include your strategy, include about information of who founded the company. If it's you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your brother, your sister, whatever it is, talk about their background. What kind of training do they have? What kind of strategy, the history, the type of success with the clients that you have, collaborations you have done. Make sure you add all the logos of the different companies you have worked. Highlight big collaborations that you have done or big projects. Viviana could say, well, I sold, 10,000, bike baskets to Google because they were doing a giveaway or something like that. So you have to highlight that type of collaborations and other types of backgrounds that you have or your team may have. Also in the presentation that is very, very helpful for you when you're meeting these new investors is to make sure you know what you're talking about. Don't look nervous. Don't look nervous. Know what you want to convey. Rehearse the presentation. Talk to the mirror. Have your dog or your kids in front of you and do the presentation. You have to look in a way that trustworthy, that you know what you're doing, and remember, you really need to connect with them. Look at their eyes. The worst thing that you can do when you're in front of somebody you're asking for money is look to their shoulders on the top and bottom, but not make eye contact. tienes que estar seguro de ti mismo. That's very, very important. Make it clean, short, and quick. Don't start saying the whole life story, and don't bring on negative or sad stories to the conversation. Remember, there are people with really short time span of attention, but also very busy. So respect their time. Have a storyline that is solid. Remember when I started telling you exactly why I founded my company? It was a desire that I have as a dream. I want to make that kind of change in my community. I want to prevent those families from going through the hardships that my family went through. So remember why you started your company, why you do what you do. That's very important. Absolutely double check your spelling. I used to have an editor at the Catholic Sun that said, if your mama says so, double check it. Don't trust even your mom when it comes to errors, when it comes to spelling, okay? Aim no more than 50 minutes. No more than 50 minutes. Use Google Slides to create your own presentation, and I'm going to give you a hint that is going to save you a lot of time. When you go to Google Slides, so if you have a Gmail, there are 9 little points or dots that you see on the top right hand. That's where I live. You go there, you look for slides, and don't tell anyone that I told you this, especially my boss here, Lucy, but there is a template called Pitch, P-I-T-C-H, in case I'm not pronouncing it right, where you can modify your colors of your logo, bring your pictures of, of your big events, your product, your team, of yourself, the background, and you can create a beautiful presentation in a quick place. The template is done for you. You can customize it as you need it. And voila, you're going to look so professional when you're in front of investors or when you're asking for a loan. Great time. And I know you have a lot of questions. We'll have some time in a little bit. So I hope you're following along, not only here taking notes, which I am so impressed of how many people are taking notes. That means that they're enjoying the workshop, but we know we have hundreds of people also watching online. So some of the resources, some of the key takeaways for today. We understand what funding is, right? The options that you have. We also talk about how important the strategy it is for your presentation and where to find those people that would fall in love with you, with your dream, with the company, with the product, the service that you're offering, and will be willing to open their checkbooks and put their money where their mouth is, right? That's a good saying, right? You see, I'm getting there. I'm starting to think in English now. I'm doing the crossover. So create a presentation to share. So the beauty of Google Slides is that you can share the presentation with several people. It's very easy. You can have other people, if you have mentors or like a local chamber that they have a group of professionals looking over what you're doing, guiding you to the process, they can actually share and double check and review what you did. So that is a beautiful thing also of Google Slides. Now, if you have members of your team that might benefit from getting certain Google certificates, they can get it through Google. Make sure you write this address, grow.google/certificates. Data analytics. I know Datos uses a lot of that, so that's where they can get a certificate. Digital marketing and e-commerce, which Roberto is going to teach you an amazing workshop in a minute. So make sure you brace yourself, because before you know it, you're going to be taking your business online and making a lot of money, mucho billete with it. So IT support, which is important too. Then the project management. You know that there's a huge industry of people that all they do is, and when I said all they do, I mean it's all they do, because it's huge industry, project management for big organizations and companies. And also, Lucy, UX design. User experience design, there we go. Now, you can get the certificates, and if you're not a business owner, you can get better paying jobs by getting the certificates with Google. They're official certificates, so make sure you visit that page. Now, learning, the best university, and it's free to you. Again, me encanta la palabra gratis. YouTube. Make sure you continue your learning. There's so many seminars there, workshops that you can get. So make sure you write down this address and you visit this type of Grow with Google. the channel in YouTube. There are a lot of seminars that you have to keep investing in yourself, in your knowledge, in order for your business to grow. Si no invierten en ustedes mismos, no puede crecer su negocio. Keep that in mind. That is the first investment you have to do, time in yourself and learning experience. And now it is time to do the live questions, correcto? Yes. I just need to get them here really quick, and we'll go. So I am sure, there we go. There's a mic, Lucy Pinto, which is our boss at Google, and she flew all the way from New York to Arizona to be here with us. Anybody that has questions at this time, who would like to participate? Don't complain of the accent. I'm sure the message got across. From the line? Okay, perfect. Why, anybody? You have a question? Okay, Lucy would go there. Please say your name and the question. Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Jose Sanchez. And for how long, for example, if I want to learn about how handle is sliced it, right? How long take that course? So can I see in YouTube?
If you can see everything in YouTube. There's a lot of trainings, but the best advice for you, Jose, start playing around with your Gmail. You know those 9 dots that I said there on the right?
Yes.
That's what it is. So it's very simple to follow. We do give a lot of workshops on how to use all those different tools, digital tools with Google. And I cannot emphasize and invest in time so you can learn. Your life is going to be so different. Most of my proposals are sent through Google Slides. Any presentations that I have for any workshop is done on Google Slides. If I am and when I'm going to go ahead and ask for that loan for my business, I have to do the presentation on Google Slides. All the different aspects, Google Docs, the Google Sheets, I leave in those 9 dots. Google Drive, when I send the productions to my clients, I send them on a link on Google Drive. So I urge you to visit those 9 dots in your Gmail, and it's going to be very simple.
Like Excel?
Excel would be Google Sheets. It's very simple. Yeah. PowerPoint would be something that comparable to the Google Slides. Otra pregunta. Gracias por participar.
I'm Adrian Blanco. I'm with Hispanic Business Association. I wanted to find out, how do you protect the data once you put it online? Because all that data is vulnerable, right? So how would you protect it?
Well, Google Gmail, I think, is one of the most secure places to have. So everything requires 2-factor authentication. So when you share, like I told you, you can share the slides. You control what type of action you're giving to that. So when I send my clients for review, like, the storyline of the production I'm going to do, they can only view it, they cannot edit. So I have that control. And then once I no longer want them to have that, I can remove them from that control. That's why it's beautiful and very easy to use. Like I said, just play a little bit in those 9 dots and you've learned a lot. Any questions you have, go to Google and you'll find those type of trainings also for you. Hopefully I answer your question. Gracias. ¿Sí? You have more? We can do a follow-up question. Okay. Una más.
Hola, la voy a hacer en español.
Perfecto.
¿Cuál es la diferencia y cuál es el empoderamiento que tiene Google Documents en relación con Microsoft?
Well, from somebody that used to use Microsoft before, I knew the world of Google and all these trainings, I can tell. For me, how practical is the opportunity to have live documents that a lot of people can work on at the same time. Like for my team, every time we're going to do a production or we're doing a project, I create a Google Doc and I share it with the team and I put this type of assignments with comments. I can do the same thing with the clients. It's a lot easier. I do everything, to be honest, on my phone, very practical. And I can cross-share everything when it comes to the different, digital tools within Google. So to me, it's a lot easier, practical, and also the security that it has and the type of access I can give to other people. Sí, gracias. Anybody else? Where's the mic? Oh, right here, please. Yes, thank you. So everybody can hear you, and especially the people watching online.
I know that's for online. I actually wanted to add to that, though. So I do Google coaching. I think I told you in Pittsburgh as well.
Yes.
And I want to say, I didn't see who asked that, but it's so amazing how you can collaborate live. You can
Yes.
see the person working. And then not only that, but like, especially if you're a small business owner, you're in a pinch, you're at the store, you're one employee needs to know all this information.
Solopreneur, yes.
Exactly. I have all of the Google apps on my phone. I
Yes.
pull it up in 2 seconds and send it to whoever. It's just night and day difference over the Microsoft Suite.
It's
So I just
so
wanted
much.
to-
That's why it's practical. I keep mentioning. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with it. With my clients, it's so easy because, like you said, I'm a mom too. I told you I'm a single mom, and my boys eat like a football team, right? So most of the time I'm cooking or grocery shopping, so I can be at the grocery store and somebody asks me for a production I did 2-3 years ago. Guess what? Everything is on my phone. I have everything on my Google Drive, so I love it. Or a document, or if I have to send, a contract, everything is there. So to me, it's life-saving as an entrepreneur. Any more questions? Do we have time for more, Lucy?
Just a comment.
Yes. 1 second. Wait for the mic so the people online can hear you. Your name?
Lorraine from
Lorraine.
Nashville, Tennessee. Lorraine Segovia. A comment. Just wanted to share what I like of Google is the ability that you can connect with others, and it's not only in the U.S. They can be on the other side of the world, and it makes you feel that they are next door pretty much.
Exactly.
So
So-
that to me that was the experience. We had an intern from she was Hispanic, Peruvian, living in the U.S., but she had to go and finish her master's in France. So she had to continue be working with us, and she was able to do it while she was there. So that was beautiful.
My graphic design right now is in Colombia, and guess where she's sending me all the projects that I gave her? Google Drive, with a Google drink. In Colombia, there you go. Cartagena, that's where she is right now. So yes. It's a girl. She just had a baby, so I don't think it would be her. Wonderful. Any more questions? Do we have time? How we're doing? One of the live stream, yes, because we have people watching on live stream and we have a question. So here would be, I spoke soon. Give me 1 second just to access. I do not have access to the questions. You want to read it or you want to bring it, send it to me, please? Share local stores, yes. My personal tips. First of all, you got to be likable. You have to have a personality, please. When you're going to go and talk to an investor, why would they open your checks if you have no character? You're not looking at them straight in the eye. You don't have confidence talking to them or sharing the passion of your company. You have to engage them. Tienes que contagiarlos con la misma pasión of why you're doing what you're doing, and show them how you're going to make a lot of money with their investment to grow your company and grow their investment. Remember what I said, the courtship? It's like you're convincing somebody to marry you. Literally, that's what you're going to be doing. So you have to have your best, suit on, your best conversation, and don't forget to be yourself, the characters. There's another question here. Where's the mic? We lost it. Oh, one more. Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Yes. Córrele, Roberto. En Chihuahua corren muy rápido, dicen allá en la montaña. Thank you. ¿Tu nombre?
Irma Sanchez. I represent Women Economic Forum Silicon Valley, and I have a question, or I don't know if it's a comment. My community want to do a Zooms, but they want to do a matchmaking in the same Zoom. I don't know if Google has a special program to do matchmaking in the same Zoom.
You got to do Google Meet, not the Zoom, to be able to do that. And they break up rooms, and they're, yes, that's, again, did I mention free, gratis? Free, gratis is free. There are a lot of tools within your Gmail that you can use. A lot of our meetings, because I have, my stuff all over the place, they're done on Google Meets. Sometimes, the technical team needs to join, so in the same team, they do the breakup teams. We don't have to be hearing the whole thing. So that would be very practical. Perfect. We are done. I'm sorry, they're telling me like when I was in news, wrap it up. So it's been an honor to be with you. Make sure you guys follow us on social media. You tag me some of your pictures. And we're gonna take a little break, local here in the room and also in the live stream, only 5 minutes. But please stay tuned because somos norteños, but he got the height. So Roberto Martinez, our California coach, is gonna sit and show you how to sell products and your service online, to take your business online, e-commerce. So very important for you to keep. Thank you so much for the honor of being here. It's been an honor to serve you through Grow with Google. Buen día. Thank you.
Good afternoon. No. Come on. We could do better. I know everyone's asleep already. Yeah. Muy buenas tardes. Yeah, okay. In Spanish is better than English. Let's try it in English now. Good afternoon. Are we fired up and ready to go? I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you so much, Mari, for that amazing presentation. Absolutely loved it. You knocked it out of the park. I'm very excited here today for one reason and one reason only. Because I get to help each and every one of you learn how to sell online if you're not doing it already. And if you are doing it, I'm going to walk you through how to improve your online presence. So I'd love to thank you all for being here. And all those folks who are out there in the live stream with YouTube, I'd like to thank you all too for being here. I just want to see a show of hands. How many of us here today have our website already? How many do not? Okay, that's perfectly fine. How many of us have a Google business profile? How many do not? Even better. So when you walk away today, you're going to have the opportunity to take an action immediately, to be online, and more importantly, to sell. So let's get started. Who am I? Why am I in front of you? That's my twin. That's not me. That's 5 years younger than me. That is not me at all. Me llamo Roberto Martinez, de Los Angeles, California, from Los Angeles, California. I'm very, very excited to be here today. I've been doing this for Google for 5 years. I absolutely love the work that I do because I get to help what I feel are my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my aunts, who are all entrepreneurs just like you. They all started, and I realized, how do I help them bridge that digital divide and then transform their online presence so they could scale? We went through a transformational change the past 2 years with COVID. It affected our businesses. It affected how we do business. And we made it out the other side, hopefully better, hopefully stronger. And so today, we're gonna talk a little bit about some amazing free tools that we have for each and every one of you guys so that you can learn how to grow your business online using e-commerce. Okay, let's get started. Why sell online? Why do we sell online? What's the first thing you did when you woke up today? What's the first thing you did? Did you reach over to that person you love and hug them and kiss them and say, "Cómo te amo, cómo te quiero"? Or did we reach for this little device here, right? That's exactly what we did. We reached for this little device. Who called us? ¿Qué está pasando en WhatsApp? You know, like we try to figure out what's going on today. So this device is extremely important because it's connected to the world. And your customer is connected to this device. And so we want to be where my customer is. We want to be where he lives, where he breathes, where he sells, donde convive. And so we're going to talk about why that is and how you as a small business owner need to be there. Then we're going to walk a little bit about how to be present in all the different channels that Google provides you, free and paid. We're going to wrap that up and then talk a little bit about the merchant account. Don't worry about what that name is. I'm going to show you what it does. I'm going to show you how you can leverage that without having a website. Let me ask you another question. How many of us have products? How many sell jackets, shirts? Even better, you do not need a website if you use this tool. You do not need a website. Now, I'm not recommending you don't use a website. We definitely want a website. Your website is your store, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're going to talk about a really cool tool called Shopify. That's not a Google tool. I do not want to confuse you all. It is not a Google tool, but it's a tool you as an entrepreneur can use to sell your product online. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to integrate those tools that Google gives you to be able to sell. And then we're going to do a little recap. We're going to have Q&A like Mari did. We're going to talk a little bit about your company and how I can help you grow your company online in English and Spanish, or Spanglish, como quieran, no me importa. Yo hablo un poquito de Spanglish, un poquito de todo. All right, with that, why sell online? Well, because we talked about that. Your customer is online. So you have 10 customers, 6 of them are going to start with this little device. They're going to start looking for your product or your service using this little device. How many times does your customer need to find or see your product or service before they buy you? It's 140 times. It's called a touch point. How many times do you as a business owner need to touch your customer before they buy from you? 140 times. So Google said, you know that? That's a lot of touch points. Let's give our entrepreneurs as many tools as possible to be online and to be able to sell. And so we're going to talk about 6 different touch points, 6 different tools that you will have to be able to sell online. The other thing is, we know, what do we do when we have a problem? What's the first thing we do? We go to this little device and we start looking at Tío Google and asking him questions. Tío Google, how do I find the best torta spot, or pupuseria spot, or colombiano restaurant, whatever it is that we need. And we start looking around and we start checking where that's at. Or we look at reviews. You know, you're buying a new car, or you're going to a new tailor shop. What do? You look at the people and what they're saying, and if they actually like the place or don't. That's trust. You want to have your prospective customer trust you. And the way we get them to trust us is to see and show them how amazing we are online and offline. Right now, we're only going to be talking about online. Okay, so Google does a lot of studies. We always want to learn more and more and more about our prospective customer base. We know they start their journey online. We know they're actually going to look at your products and services online. They're going to check. Before I came here, the suit is kind of old. I wanted to buy a new one. Didn't come in time because they didn't have my size. Ya me engordé. I'm a fatty, not a foodie, so I'm always eating and I'm always growing. But I couldn't find my inventory at my size. But that's what they're doing to you. They're going to look at your product and they're going to look if you have it online before they even buy you. That's a touch point. So how do we make sure we're in front of them? So here's the 6 products that I was telling you about. The first one's Google Business Profile. Some of us have that. I'm going to tell you how to leverage it, how to grow it as best you can, so you can always, always, always touch that customer. Remind them where you're at. If we don't have that, here's an action item. Tienen tarea. Cuando acaban con esta presentación, I want you guys to set up your Google Business Profile. It takes you 5 minutes. Super quick, super easy. Mari runs amazing workshops. You can go to her workshop. She has 3 to 5 workshops a given month. I can't speak highly of her. I feel like she's my tia. I absolutely love her. So definitely sign up for her workshops. Google Shopping tab. What does that mean? How many of us use Google Search? All of us, right? Most of us, todos. There's no way you guys are using the competitor. There's no way. I don't believe it, right? We use Google Search. And at the very top of the Google Search, you see little tabs. Those tabs have these little things right here called shopping tabs. They have Google Lens and Google Images. And we're going to walk through each one of those and show you how you can upload your products and let the prospective customer see it so that they could buy from you. So let's showcase some of those tools that we're talking about, how to make sure you get in front of your customer so they can buy from you. And the first one is the easiest one that takes you 5 minutes. Again, 5 minutes to set up for those of us who haven't done so. And it's Google Search. Google Business Profile, Google Business Profile. So once you set up your Google Business Profile, what that allows you to be is on the world's largest search engine in the world, Google, right? Everyone's on Google. Everyone is using Google to find their place, where they're going, where they're driving. They have a question, they ask Google. We want your business to be there. How much does it cost? Zero, nothing, just your time and your energy. And so we have an example here with the Spice House. And, nos gusta el sazón. We love our spices. We love our different types of food and beverages. And so the Spice House has a lot of products. You could imagine spices, right? They have to upload all these products on their website. But Google's saying, hey, if you don't have a website yet, and you don't want to invest into a website just yet, you have the opportunity to upload your products on Google Business Profile. So a customer that's looking for, you name it, whatever spice it is, Tajin, lo que sea, no importa. They find it right there, easily accessible. They could click on it, see it, and call you and buy from you. And that allows you to get in front of your customer and have them buy from you immediately. No problem, no cost. And so there's a lot of things you could do. You could upload pictures, really important, right? When someone talks to you, it's great, but if someone talks to you with a slideshow, it's even better, and a movie is even best, right? So we consume content now more than ever, and we want to make sure we show our amazing pictures of our company, our products, and we upload it to Google Business Profile. And we list all the important information there. And guess what you're doing? You're increasing those touch points. So now instead of 140, you only need 139. But ahí empezamos, no? Like we got to start somewhere. And so we're uploading all these pictures. We're adding all this information to what? Educate our customer. We want our customer to trust us. We're going to tell them everything they need to know about our services and about our products. That allows them to feel comfortable with us and say, you know what? I could trust this company. All the information is there. It looks like an amazing product, and I'm seeing the reviews. You could add descriptions. Again, constantly informing them. Tell me why I should buy from you. Why should I care? Why do I want to buy your product or your service instead of anyone else's? Like Mari said, I'm Mari, this is why you should work with me, but I also have 25 years of experience in media. That's a powerful statement. I don't know anyone that has 25 years of experience. I try to learn from her every single chance I get. So tell us why we should care. Tell us why we should buy your product. And wow us. Okay, so that's the first thing. Completely free, no cost to you. Second thing is the merchant account. What is a merchant account? Well, it's an opportunity for you to upload all your products onto the Google platform that we call Merchant. And it's whatever product that you have. Now, services is different because there's definitely a place to sell services, but for this particular tool, it's only focused on products. And so what Google allows you to do is to upload all your inventory into the Google search engine that we call Google Merchant account. So let's see what you can do with this particular tool. When you Google a particular product, clothing, jeans, pants, coffee, jeans, whatever it is, you see images, right? These images, there's a lot of different ways these work. One thing is you see on the very top it says ads. What that means is that a business decided to run an ad campaign and advertise their product, but it could also be free. It could also be an organic search image. And that means Google is organically sending traffic to your business. What do I mean by that? Let's break that statement down. That means that just by uploading your images on Google Merchant account, a customer can see it, click on it, and buy from you without you spending a dime. All it takes is your time. That's powerful stuff because you want to increase those touch points. You want to increase the amount of times those customers are seeing your product. And so when they see that, oh my goodness, I see that, I want it, I see it, I like it, I want it, and I'll buy it, right? I don't know if you guys know Ariana Grande, but that's my girl. I absolutely love her. So you want to buy that, grab it, bring it in, and have that prospective customer buy from you. You also have those tools on the very top. So if I'm looking for a jacket, like esta que ya está un poquito viejita, well, it's okay, I'll make it work. I'm looking for different types of products. And so I'm going to check shopping and see all the different stores near me to buy from me. Because just like politics, all business is local. We want to buy from our neighbor. We don't want to go down 50 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. We want to go around the block to buy from our neighbors. Comunidad, we're very big on that, the Latino community. We really care about our community. So we want to buy local. Google's going to help you identify the local businesses in your area that are selling your product if you're a customer. Really important. Now, the other thing that's really cool is that if you take these pictures and you upload them to the Google Merchant account, and someone's looking for your particular product, your chaleco, your pants, your shoes, whatever you're selling, they could see that image, click on that image, and go to your website or to the place that you can sell. Now, you don't necessarily need a website. I want to be very, very clear about that. Google Merchant account allows you to actually sell and use their merchant POS, a point of sale system, without having to do anything. We'll talk about those three options. But if we do have a website, you want to drive as much traffic to your website. Your website is your store. Imagine it's your storefront, it's your tienda that you have it open, people are walking in, and they're buying from you. So the more people that walk in, potentially, the more people that buy from you. You guys remember those stores maybe 25 years ago, and you used to walk in and you used to go, bing, right? You guys remember that? You know what they're doing? They're counting how many people are walking into the store. So let's say 100 people walk in the store, and what time they're walking into the store. So they calculate, there's 100 people that walked into the store between 10 and 11, and this is how much we sold. And they're averaging it out. That's what the website can do for you. If you have your website, and you understand how many people land on your website and go to your website, and how many people buy from you, you can start calculating what the average value there is in the amount of customers that are coming in. What we're teaching you here is how to get as many customers in as many ways as possible into your conversions funnel. They call it a funnel, but it could be your website. So we want to add those images. Now, a really cool feature that I don't know if you guys know this, we all have this little device. We could have an Android or we could have an iOS. I'm not going to talk about that company, no need to mention it. The cool thing is you could download Google Lens. It's a free tool. And let's say, mi amigo acá, de Colombia, de Venezuela, perdón, de Venezuela, me gusta su camiseta. I love his shirt. I'm like, I'm going out to the club tomorrow. I want to wear that shirt. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take a picture using Google Lens. And guess what happens? Google Lens is going to tell me all the different shirts that are like his or close to his or exactly his and where I could buy it. Isn't that cool? It's like magic. It's like you have a magic wand. You see a friend and you're like, man, I really like her shoes. How do I click? And then the next week she's like, this lady stole my shoes, stole my outfit. You could use that with Google Lens, but don't think about it as the customer, think about it as a business owner. If you add all these images to the Google search, then more and more customers can potentially find your product and buy from you. That's what we want to do. We want to lower those touch points from 140 to 135 to 130, all the way down till they start buying from us. Okay, so how many times do we search on Google and we see the little AD on the very top, right? We all see that. That's Google Ads. We always see that. You can also use this tool to drive customers to buy your product. So I'm looking for a blue blazer near me, and I Google it on Google search, and all of a sudden I see all these blue blazers on the very top of Google search. Some company decided to pay money to make sure that I see that image. And that's a big difference with social media and search engine. Search engine, you have what's called purchasing intent. You have an intent and action you're trying to take. I need a jacket. I don't want to look bad when I'm in front of my comunidad. So I'm going to look for that jacket online. Versus, what do we do when we're on social? We're bored. We're waiting in line. I see some of you guys driving. You guys are on the phone, right? On social media, there's no intent behind that. Versus the Google search. Definitely an intent. We want to take an action. We want to solve a problem. That's why we use Google, because we're trying to solve a problem. And Google's trying to solve the world's information. Give you as much information as possible for you to take the proper action necessary to solve your problem. Now, think about that as a business owner. You guys are all solving that problem. You guys are providing a solution to the market, to your neighborhood, to your community by providing them these products. So, how does merchant account work? How can we get started? Yesterday, we create an account. How many of us have Gmail? All of us? We all absolutely have. I have like 5 Gmail accounts, right? Most of us, like, we have our school, we have our friends, we have multiple Gmail accounts. I want you to use your business Gmail account to set up your Google Merchant account. You're going to start uploading as many products as possible, And then you're going to start showcasing them across Google using this particular tool. And remember I told you there's different ways of selling using Google Merchant Account without having to have your website? We're going to touch on that right now. And so Google allows you to list your products for free. That's amazing to me. It's like, wait, you're going to give me prospective customers at no cost to me, just my time? Where do I sign up? Right? We want to get as many customers into our funnel. And so there's a couple ways. First, we're going to log in. We're going to join Google Merchant Account with our Gmail account. We're going to register our business. We're going to write all the information that we need Google to know, and more importantly, our customers to know so they can buy from us. Domicilio, what's the address, what's the location, what's the phone number, what's the time zone, because we are selling all over the United States, not just here in our neighborhood, but we are going to sell in our neighborhoods as well. And as we start doing that, there's different ways to drive the customer to the place you want them to go to so they could buy from you. First one is the website. We talked about that for those of us who have websites. Fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's make sure we enhance our website to make sure that our customer can buy from us. And so that's option A. You can just drive them to your website. So you have that image, you upload it to Google Merchant Account. I'm looking for this jacket. I click on that jacket, and then I go to your website. Second, it's called Google Shopping, and they call it beta. All it means is they're working through it to allow you to be able to sell your product without having to have a website. And usually, you can just upload your products and then connect to a certain point of sale system that Google recommends. It might be Google Pay. I don't know the exact details, but it allows you at a minimum, if you don't have a website, to be able to sell immediately. And then last but not least, if you want to drive people to your store, you can do that too. You could say, hey, you know what? The moment they see this image, I want them to go to my store. And Google will push them to your store location. So really cool ways to get your customer to go to your point of sale, where you actually sell, where you actually get the customer to buy from us. A lot of people ask me, why would I want to send them to the store? You know, it's, how many of us go to Target? You know, we walk in wanting to buy one thing and we walk away with like 10 things, right? That's exactly why you want to send them to the store. Because once we're in the store, we're always upselling them. Oh, you want this, you want that. And you start walking the aisles, and before you know it, you're walking away with the whole store. Really cool stuff here. That's what we want to do. We want to get them into our store, website, or in person to get them to buy from us. There's a lot of what's called third-party application integration. What the heck does that mean? Well, we all don't just have one application, one app. We're not just all playing. We have multiple apps. So we just don't have WhatsApp. We have text messaging app. We might have social media apps. I'm not going to name them. Just know we all have a ton of them. And so same with your business. Your business runs on multiple applications. Google Business Profile can be an app. Google Analytics is an app. Google Merchant Account is an app. But there's also other apps that you can connect to allow you to be able to sell. One of them is Shopify. Have any of you heard of Shopify? How many of us have Shopify? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. A few of us have Shopify. That's great. And it's a third-party e-commerce, quote unquote. E-commerce just means that you're selling online. E-commerce website that allows you to very, very quickly set up your website so that you can start selling your product. Now, it comes with a cost. It's not free, although they do have a freemium model. So you start integrating all this information on the Google Merchant account, because Google Merchant wants you to make smart decisions. And more than anything else, it's going to give you the data. It's going to give you information so that you could take informed decisions. Como dice mi abuelita, a mí nadie me cuenta. Yo sé. Like, I'm going to look at the information. I'm going to know for a fact how many people came from this particular image, how many people came from that particular image. Why is that important? If you know that blue shirt sells more than that purple shirt, what are we going to put all over our website? The blue shirt. That type of information is very useful, and it's going to help us see what products are doing better, what products are doing worse. Because if we're paying for these products, we're having it in inventory. And so we need to put those away. We don't want to keep inventory because it costs us money, right? We don't want to keep anything in inventory. We want to push as much stuff out as possible. And if we know certain things aren't selling and we just want to get rid of them, we could discount them, or we could do different promotions. So this information allows us to take smart actions to grow our business in sales. It shows what product is selling fantastic and which products aren't. And ya llega with its fall season right now, it's Booktober, so a lot of different products you can start listing right now with that in mind. And you could see how they perform on Google Merchant Account. And Google's going to ask to verify your business. So it's really important to make sure you have all your T's and I's dotted. It's going to talk about, what's your location, how do we verify your website. We want to integrate, we want to connect to all your third-party applications. And it allows Google to start learning, because Google wants to learn from you guys. Google Merchant Account is going to learn about your website, it's going to learn about the data that's on your website to make sure you're promoting it as best you can. Now, there's a couple ways you can actually connect and verify your Google Merchant Account. The first one is Google Analytics. How many of us have heard of Google Analytics? A few of us. How many of us have not heard of Google Analytics? Okay, so I'll spend a few seconds on that to make sure we know exactly what Google Analytics is. It's a free third-party application tool that gives you information. It tells you how many people showed up to your website, at what time, what's their age, what's their location, what kind of phone are they using, what type of day, what's the income level, how much they actually spend on your website. All this information is completely free. Why would that matter? We had a friend a couple of years ago, we were helping them, a pizza parlor place, they were selling pizza, and every Wednesday, between 5 and 7:30, their sales will spike. Why would the sales spike on the Wednesday and not on the Monday or Tuesday between the hours of 5 and 7:30? Moreover, they were between the ages of 35 and 45. And so this guy brings me to the side and says, Roberto, I want to understand why so many people are buying from me between 5 and 7:30 on the Wednesday that are ages between 35 and 45. And I thought about that. And we started looking at his Google Analytics, and what we realized is Monday, Tuesday, we're cooking. We have a familia, ya tenemos todo fríamente calculado, but on Wednesday we're tired. We're like, ¿qué van a comer los niños? And so what do? We grab the phone, we're driving home, and we just order the pizza. And I was like, have you thought about that? That's your family. It's people between 35 and 45, probably married, probably have kids already. Think about doing this. How about we do a promotion for family deal on Wednesday, right? And his light went off, like, that makes sense. Perfecto. Yeah. Luego. We started trying it out, and that's how you do informed decision making. You use the information that you're getting from the analytics, from the data, and you take smart decisions to grow your sales. And so Google Analytics allows you to verify your Google Merchant Account. It's one of those tools that it's free. Mari can definitely run workshops with you till the cows come home, completely free, no cost to you. The other one's Tag Manager. And this is one of my favorite tools because I'm a little bit older. And do you guys remember that Disney movie, WALL-E? I don't know if you're a little robot. He's like, no, nadie? Unos que sí, unos que no. Mari, defiéndeme. Right, WALL-E, Disney movie, he's organizing the world's trash because certain people trash the world. Anyways, it's the way Google thinks. Imagine WALL-E is the Google bot. There's something called a long-tail spider. And this long-tail spider, let's just call him a Google bot, is reading your website very quickly, very, very quickly. 20,000 website pages a second. 20,000 website pages a second. And it's reading your website, and it's reading all the words and all the phrases. It cannot see your website, but it could read the website, it could read the images, and then it's telling the Google search engine, this information here is relevant to what the consumer is typing on the Google search engine. So if I'm typing pizza parlor, pizza shop near me, tacos near me on the Wednesday, the Google bot is the one that benchmarks your website to that information. It's called indexing. We don't have to get into that, but that's what the Tag Manager does. It allows you to connect your website and start tagging pieces of your website and telling Google, hey, when this prospective client gets into the website and takes this particular action, I want to track that. When this particular customer comes in and calls me, I want to track that. So if you connect your Google Tag Manager to your personal website, it allows Google Merchant Account to be verified. And the other thing you can do is you can just add the code, quote unquote. Your code is just what your website is on the back end, all the different words, letters, and numbers. And you could just drop what are called snippets. It's code, for lack of a better word, into your website so that Google Merchant account can connect to your website and then communicate with each other. They have to speak the same language, so that's what we want to do. All right. We're going to go in there. We're going to start playing around. We're going to add all our products. We're going to upload our products. We could do it 3 different ways. We could do it individually, which takes forever. Let's say you have 1,000 SKUs of different products. We don't want to do that. If we have 20, 25, 30, we might be able to do that. No nos cuesta mucho tiempo. We're just going to upload, and push it out. We could upload multiple products, which means we create an Excel sheet, a Google Sheet. Google Sheet. We're going to use a Google Sheet, and we're going to upload all our products using that Google Sheet. If it's 10, 15, 20, 500, doesn't matter. We can upload it on Google Merchant account, or we could do a combination of the two. We could use a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Why would you do that? Because there's certain products that are high-selling products, that are your money makers. You want to take special care of them. You don't want to make any mistakes. But other ones are like, it doesn't really matter if I missed with a T or an I, whatever it is, not a big deal. So that's why you would do a combination of the two. And this is an example of how it looks like when you set it up for the individual product. And this is an example of how you do it for multiple products. And we're going to show you a little Excel sheet that allows the Google Sheets to be uploaded onto your platform. And this allows Google Merchant to look at that product sheet and then pull that information and upload it to the Google Merchant account. And that way you can have all that information ready to go, so when someone types in blue club shirt, it pops up. Okay, last thing. We talked about Google Sheets. You have 2 options, using the template or upload from an existing account. Google's going to give you the template so you can actually upload all the information. We're kind of getting into the weeds here, not spending too much time here on this particular piece. Just want to show you how it looks like, just so that you know when you get back home, you'll be able to see exactly how you're going to be able to write all the different products that you have and how you're going to be able to upload those products on the Google Merchant account. Okay, so we went through a lot right now. I just want to do a quick refresh before we move over to the Shopify side of the conversation, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Sound good? ¿No están dormidos todavía? ¿Con muchas ganas? Vámonos. Okay. So we talked about Google search. You type in, Tío Google, where do I find the next best torta? Or, ya sábado, ¿no? Y el cuerpo lo sabe. It's Saturday today, so we want our micheladas a little bit later. We'll get there. We're almost there. So we Google on the Google search. We go on Google shopping ads because we're going to upload our images to the Google Merchant account. The customer's going to see it, click on it, and go to our website or go and buy from us directly. We're going to run Google Ads if we want to run Google Ads, if we want to invest in it. Now, show of hands, how many of us have ever used Google Ads? How many of us have not? I am not going to dwell on this unless you want me to talk about Google Ads. How many of us want to know a little bit about Google Ads? 1. Okay, we'll talk later. Pa la otra. And you have Mari behind you, too. She does an amazing workshop on Google Ads as well. Google Images, what we talked about, we upload our images on the Google Merchant account. People see, type in jackets, blue sweaters, pumpkin spice latte, whatever it is, the image pops up. We click on it, and it takes us to our website. And then Google Lens, which is this little magical device, which I wish I could show you in real time because I actually have it. I take a picture of your blouse and then show you that I could buy it at Macy's or Nordstrom's, wherever you bought it at. It's really cool. I absolutely love that tool. Okay, now we're going to talk about Shopify. So some of us have websites. Some of us do not have websites. If we are selling products, jackets, shirts, boots, tejanas, I don't know what you guys sell in Arizona. I absolutely love Arizona, but I don't know what you guys sell here. Whatever it is, you can, ¿qué más? Un poquito de todo. Shopify, you could create your website using Shopify. We're going to talk about how Shopify connects to the Google Merchant account and how you can start selling your products within probably 2 weeks if you really, really were motivated to do it. We'll hold on Q&A until the very end, and then we'll walk around and answer some questions. Por favor. Okay, so how do we get started with Shopify? I want to talk a little bit about this e-commerce platform. It allows you to sell your products using their website platform. It's just like Wix, it's just like Squarespace, it's just like WordPress. Whatever your website is built on, it's very similar to that. It's drag and drop. You can create your website in a matter of days. Very easy to use. And it allows you to connect to Google and the Google applications that we talked about, like Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Search Console, Google Paid Ads, all of it. It allows you to connect instantly, and I even think they give you a little promotional code if you want to run Google Ads. All right, why is this so important? COVID changed the way we do business, right? Now everyone didn't want to go to the corner. They just want to use this little phone, start Googling it, and order online. So we need to be there. As a community, we need to be where our customers are at. They're using their phones. They want to be online. You need to be online. Over 1 million merchants, over 1 million businesses are online in over 175 countries. I'm not going to talk about Shopify more than that. That's all they get. That's all they need. Really important to realize that that's the direction the industry is moving. I read somewhere a study, I think it's $900 billion in retail sales this past year. It's a lot of money. We want to be part of that conversation. We want to be able to be there because our community is moving there. Before, yeah, I'll just drive down, but now it's like, no, I want to order it online. I want to go there. And so you as a business can sell your product using the Shopify tool. But why is Google partnering with Shopify? Because it's showing you that you can upload your products very quickly and start selling immediately using this particular tool. You can start as easy as with an email website. That's obviously Gmail, right? We're going to use our Gmail account. We're going to start in. I think they give you 2 weeks to get started and set up your free Shopify account. And then after that, they'll charge you a certain amount. And don't ask me how much. I don't know. They'll ask you, what is your business all about? How do you sell your actual product? What is the current revenue? Very personal. Like, whoa, don't tell me. I sell. And they're going to ask us a little bit more information. What's really cool about this platform is that it has tutorials. It used to have them in Spanish. I don't know if that's still the case. But it walks you through how to set up your Google Merchant account with Shopify. It walks you through how to use Shopify. And walks you through how to upload your products on Shopify. So it's a step-by-step process, easy to add, easy to subtract. It can be physical or digital, meaning you can actually just take the picture and upload it, or you can drag and drop it like you do on your social accounts, right? When we're going and want to show our tios in Mexico or in Colombia or Venezuela or Central America, wherever it happens to be, or Sudamerica for those folks in Peru, 100% very easy to do. And it keeps track of your inventory. It keeps track of how much you're selling, how many sales you're doing a day. Remember that ping when you walk in? It'll tell you 100 people walked into your store, 10 people bought from your store. That's a 10% conversion rate. We all want to see those numbers. I would love for you guys to walk away today and a month from now or 2 months from now, Marty calls me and says, Roberto, they set up their merchant account. They're selling 10% a month. That would be phenomenal because the average is around 3 to 5%. You're going to upload the products, and you're going to describe to me. Always educate your customer. I can't say this enough. It's like we know our business inside out. We live it. It's our baby. We take care of it. We sleep thinking about it. We wake up thinking about it. But our customers do not have that same passion that we do. So we always have to educate our customers. We always have to inform them why. Why are you buying from me? Here's why. Because I have the best product in the market. So how do we connect your Shopify account with Google? All right. We're going to connect on the app. You see the little thing right there? It says apps. That's your applications. You're going to go scroll down there. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to see Google right there. There's a lot of other applications, but we only care about Google because we're at Google Summit. And we're going to go and we're going to connect to that Google tool. And we're going to let Shopify communicate to Google and vice versa. So now they're going to be sharing information, which is what we want. We want them to share information and make sure that if Google's saying they sent over 100 people to my website, Shopify should be telling me I received 100 people from the Google search engine and from Google Lens and from Google Images and from Google Shopping, right? That's what we want to do here. We want to integrate the two systems. And then if we have a Google Merchant account, we can set that up. But really important to always, I can't stress this one enough, use the same Gmail account with most, if not all, of your business accounts. Sometimes, you're running at 1,000,000 miles per hour, you get your primo, your prima, yo estoy en el mercadeo, tengo mi beca ya y mi maestría en marketing, yo te lo hago por ti. And what we end up doing as a community sometimes is we get our cousins or friends or family members to create our accounts, but we don't know what email is used. And then when we go back, that person is back in another state, another city, or we begin to fight, and they're like, I'm not giving you that email account. It's mine now, right? You see this happen all the time, especially for Google Business Profiles. So we definitely want to protect that. We want to set it up ourselves and then give people access. So make sure you protect that Gmail account that you're using to integrate to your platform, regardless of what it is. And here, you're going to confirm the requirements of your store. Again, you're just communicating between the two different platforms. A platform is Shopify and Google Merchant account, and your website. And you're going to add all the basic information of your particular company and what Shopify needs to inform your website of all the products that you're selling. There's a couple ways to do it. This is just telling you, if you have an existing website, we could do it where it's called scraping. So they have a bot as well. Google's not the only Wally in town, right? There's multiple Wallies. And it could scrape your website, meaning it could have its own bot read your website products and then try to match them onto your current website. That's one option. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can use it. You could also select the Google Merchant account. If you have all your products already, it'll connect to the Shopify account, and then they'll communicate with each other. I'm like, oh, look, you're well organized. We could just scrape that information. It's a lot easier. I would highly recommend this process instead of the other one. Either way, you could set all that information up. You could set up where you want to sell. If you're here in Los Angeles, here in Phoenix, here in Tucson, wherever you're at, but your market is in Medellin, Mexico City, Lima, you can pick and choose where you want to sell your product. Finally, Shopify has a relationship with Google, and you can run ads if you want to run ads, which is great. We're not going to talk about that because you and I have coffee date after, so don't worry about it. We'll talk about Google Ads later. And then we set our budget, set it, and we don't forget it. This is one of the things you do not forget. You do not forget when you run ads. You want to make sure you track your budget and make sure you stay on top of it. I love this quote. One of my close friends would say, sometimes you have to jump before you're ready or you'll never jump. So we all want to jump. With that, I'd love to thank you all for being here today. Muchas gracias. I appreciate you all for allowing us to be in your space. We have about a minute left. We have some Q&A. And we're going to 10 minutes for Q&A. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll thank our folks in the live stream. But with that, we'd love to open it up for any questions the audience. Ahora sí, si tienes unas preguntitas.
Yeah, the ads.
The ads. Oh, so you have an ads question too. All right.
Yeah, because
¿Me da un minuto?
when I have my charity, I want to be able to get it. Sorry.
Pégale.
Pues
Fácalo.
ahora bien grandes, okay.
Fácalo.
No, I want to know about the ads because I have a charity. Okay, and
Plug it in right now. You have a national audience, so plug in your name, your company, and then the nonprofit.
Okay, the charity is called AC There Is Hope. What we do is we give baby boxes to teenage moms here in Arizona with 2 months supply. We also go and get underwear and socks to other charities. That's one of the things that they need, but it's in the bottom. Okay, and also we're trying to get finances, because I don't have the finances anymore. I'm up to here.
Al tope.
Okay, and so this is why I created this other business, which is called Heavenly Crystals. I'm designing tote bags to be able to finance this charity. And we also provide coloring books and crayons to the Children's Hospital here in Phoenix. But I'm stuck right now with no finance help. So I decided to do this. And so it comes up in my website. It says, it tells me my website of the charity is being looked all over the world. Okay, and the little wheel tells me, oh, this is how many people and all this stuff. But it says ads. Okay, I need to know about that.
Okay. What is your name again?
Adriana Thomas.
Adriana, thank you so much for your question. So let me just start off. If you're a nonprofit, Google has Google for Nonprofits. And it's a free service. It gives you free assistance, and it gives you $10,000 of free Google ads a month. Yes, it's one of the greatest programs that I know of because other companies do not do this. And it's super easy to apply. You are a 501c3?
Yes.
Fantastic. I would recommend, we'll talk after this presentation, we'll tell you how to apply, and it'll give you $10,000 of free Google ads to get started. It also gives you free Google Workspace, which means you have your free Gmail account. I think it's about 20, I want to say 25, I don't remember. Last time I helped someone out, they said they give them free email, professional business emails from Google, which is called Google Workspace. So we'll definitely help you with that, and we'll happily walk through how to do that. And then when Mari has a Google Ads workshop, please attend that workshop. That way you can learn how to use those ads to make sure you promote your company at no charge. Thank you for that question. Yeah.
Same question. Could you at the end, when you are going to talk to her, maybe...
Un favorcito. El nombre, por favor,
sorry,
la compañía.
Marisol González, Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative. We are also a 501c3 based in Boca Raton, Florida. And what we do is we have programs of training and coaching for small Hispanic business owners to help them with economic prosperity here in the U.S. So we work from the business acculturation point of view. When you talk to the lady that spoke before, could you maybe get 10 minutes so all the nonprofits that are present can hear them?
I'm happy to, and I'm happy to connect you to our counterpart, Marty and my counterpart, Vicente Pimienta. Oh, that guy walks on water, man. That guy is a rock star. You have no idea. You Google Vicente Pimienta. Just Google him, and then you'll thank me later. He's going to be the one running your workshops. He's going to be the one presenting on our behalf. He's amazing. I absolutely love the man. He's my tío. Mari's my tía, right? Ahí vamos por esos caminos. Vicente Pimienta de Florida. He's our Florida digital coach. Amazing man. I'm happy to help you guys out. Any other questions? Okay, let me answer a live stream question just so we can give the folks out in the internet a chance. So here's the question. Do you recommend we fill out the optional fields when adding an individual product in Merchant Center? What's the benefit? So that's the question. Remember we talked about individual fields and really honing in. So you could do bulk, which is you have that Excel sheet or the Google Sheet. We're not using the other companies. We're using Google Sheets. And we upload all the information, and it bulk uploads it to Google Merchant account, or you could use individual. So it all varies between the color, the size, the variation of the attributions that your product has. So you can definitely do it if you want to do it so that you could give that particular product specific detail and specific love. Why is that important? If I know this is my highest selling product, my jacket, I don't want to bulk upload it. I want to individually upload it and then write out the amazing description of why I want to buy this product, as opposed to bulk upload, right? It's the attention. When we walk into a room, we don't yell at people. We give them the individual attention they deserve, and we talk to them. Same with your products. You got to give them some love, right? So we want to do individual when the product is our best-selling product, highest-selling product, versus bulk when it's just small knickknacks that we just, maybe it's 5 cents, 10 cents, $1, $2. Great question. Absolutely love the question. Anyone else? ¿Tenemos otras preguntitas? Do we have time? One more.
One more.
Okay.
Hi. I'm Alejandra Arenas from Sonora, Mexico. Can you link your Google Merchant, when you upload your products, link that to your landing page in your web page through that process?
Great question. So let me break down some of that terminology. A landing page just means one page. It could be on your website, or it could be a standalone one page. Many of us, when we get started, we don't have we might not want to invest $2,000, $5,000, $7,000 on a full-fledged website. So we might want just one page. What she's asking us is, when we have that one page on our website that has all, how many of us go to Macy's and we see the jackets and we have like 1,000 jackets, right? Or 1,000 shirts. She's saying, okay, does that particular landing page that has all those jackets connect directly to our merchant account? The answer is yes. And that's exactly what we want to do. Why is that so important? When you go into a grocery store, there's multiple aisles, right? There's like food, pasta, what else? Rice, verdura, I forget the word in English. Mari, help me. Vegetables, yes. And so there's different aisles for different things, right? And as you're walking down, you don't just want, I mean, some of us wander, but if we're really in a rush, we're like, let's go exactly where we want to go. That's what you want to do with your website. You want to consistently inform the customer. If you want to buy a jacket, go here. Because on your websites, clicks are currency. We want to buy it. We want to buy it now. We don't want to wait. We want as least amount of clicks as possible. So think about that when you're thinking about your website. All right, folks, with that, I'd love to thank the folks at the live stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. We absolutely love you and care for you. Please join us across the nation. We have amazing coaches in over 20 different cities. We love to see you be part of our journey, and we want to be part of your journey. And with that, we'd like to turn it over and thank you all for being here. We're going to have a short Q&A, and we're going to have a fireside chat, so stay. Don't go anywhere. We're very excited. Thank you so much. Yeah, local audience, stay. Live stream, gracias. What